Hello, you're watching ERi-TV with me, Bersa Betagle. Welcome to English News Broadcast. Let us start with the major headlines for today. UN delegation held a meeting with Eritrean Foreign Minister and Presidential Advisor. 53 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 and tests carried out today. After Biden's warning, Russia says does not want war. And at least 10 soldiers killed in an attack on security checkpost in the southwest province of Balochistan. On the local news, the regional directors and other senior United Nations officials in Africa that are on a 5-day working visit in Eritrea met and held talks today, 28 January, with Mr. Usman Saleh, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Presidential Advisor Mr. Yamana Gebrab, focusing on bilateral relations and mutual cooperation in identified sectors as well as on regional developments. In the meeting at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Usman Saleh gave extensive briefing on the progress and future prospect of the relationship between Eritrea and the United Nations, the effort Eritrea has been exerting in respecting human rights since the armed struggle for independence, and the campaign that has been waged to defame the image of Eritrea. At a separate meeting with the UN delegation, Presidential Advisor Mr. Yamana Gebrab underlined that the UN is not working incongruent with its founding principles, its structure is not in conformity with the objective world situation, and especially not serving the developing countries, and that Eritrea as a country that believes in change will tirelessly work for the transformation of the UN. Regarding the initiative of regional peace and cooperation that is facing multiple challenges, Mr. Yamana Gebrab expressed Eritrea's readiness to relentlessly work for peace and mutual cooperation. We have an announcement from the Ministry of Health. 53 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 and tests carried out today at quarantine centers and testing stations in the central, southern, and Ansaba regions. Out of this, 26 patients are from testing stations in Asmara Central region. 23 patients are from testing stations in Imna Haili 7, Mendefera 7, San'afa 5, Dubarwa 2, Torona 1, and Adayih 1 southern region. 4 patients are from quarantine center in Karen 3, testing station in Habero 1, Ansaba region. On the other hand, 69 patients have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the Central 43, Southern 10, Ansaba 10, Gashbarka 6, Ansaba 5, and Northern Red Sea 5 regions have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly increased to 9,073, while the number of deaths stands at 97. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 9,489. Ministry of Health, Asmara, January 28, 2022. The governor of the Southern Red Sea region, Ambassador Mohammed Said Mantai, held a meeting on 26 January with residents of Afambo administrative area, focusing on the implementation of charted out development programs. At the meeting, Ambassador Mohammed Said gave extensive briefing on the commendable participation of the residents in the implementation of development programs in 2021 and called for reinforced participation, especially in the agricultural sector and water management. Ambassador Mohammed Said also called on parents, village elders, as well as religious leaders and school communities to strengthen participation in effort to expand educational facilities and ensure school-age children become beneficiaries of the opportunity. Indicating that strong effort is being exerted to expand health facilities in the subzone, Ambassador Mohammed Said commended the participation of the public in the effort. Ambassador Mohammed Said also visited the progress of the agricultural project in South Dankalia subzone and was provided with briefing. The Water Resource Branch in the Central Region called for judicious use of water resources put in place in the region, especially in the remote areas of the region. According to Mr. Girmay Taghlab, head of the branch office, the government, in cooperation with stakeholders and the public, has put in place 166 potable water projects in 166 villages. And in 2021, 4 water distribution centers worth over 2 million nafa in Adar Ada, Galanefhi subzone, operating with solar system. Water distribution centers in the subzones of Sarajaa, Berrikh, Galanefhi have been renovated and have become operational, and over 4 kilometers of pipelines have been installed. Mr. Girmay further said that the putting in place of potable water project worth over 2 million nafa in Guritat Sarajaa subzone has been finalized, and there is plan for putting in place potable water projects in the villages of Tzada Christian, Tzazzaga, Ad Marawi, Ad Shmagille, and Lamza. That's all with the domestic news. Stay with us for international news after the short break. Welcome back. Russia's foreign minister has said Russia does not want a war after Washington that Moscow may invade Ukraine in February. Yesterday, the United States and NATO to Russia's sweeping security demands that were raised in December after Moscow built up troops near the border with Ukraine. Primarily, Russia wants NATO to commit to permanently blocking Ukraine from becoming a member of the alliance. Russia said the replies gave it little cause for optimism because there was no positive response to the main question, but could serve as a starting point for talks on secondary questions. Pakistan's military has confirmed that at least 10 soldiers were killed in an attack on a security checkpost in the southwest province of Balochistan, the largest but least populated province in Pakistan. Pakistan's military said in a statement released late yesterday that the attack took place on Tuesday night in the Kek area located near the country's western border with Iran and roughly 600 kilometers south of the provincial capital, Quetta. The Pakistani military press wing said that a follow-up clearance operation was ongoing and that 3 suspects had been apprehended since the attack. No group immediately claimed responsibility for the attack, but Pakistan's military has been battling an armed ethnic in the region for more than 10 years. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison has announced a further $1 billion Australian dollars and support thousands of tourism jobs just months before a federal election. The reef, one of Australia's best-known natural attractions and made up of more than 3,000 individual reefs stretching for 2,300 kilometers, is under threat from global warming and has been a lightning rod for criticism of the ruling Conservative coalition support for fossil fuels. Morrison, already under pressure over his handling of the country's worst COVID-19 outbreak fueled by the Omicron variant, said today that the investment will help protect about 64,000 jobs in Queensland that depend on the reef. More than half of the new funds will be used to improve water quality by preventing land erosion and limiting nutrient and pesticides runoff from farms. The rest will be used to target invasive species and for monitoring systems. And now a quick recap of today's major headlines. UN delegation held a meeting with Eritrean foreign minister and presidential advisor. 53 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 and tests carried out today. After Biden's warning, Russia says does not want war. And at least 10 soldiers killed in an attack on security checkpost in the southwest province of Balochistan. That was it for today. Thanks for watching.